This is Grapplers Talk.
What is up, fans of Grapplers Talk? We are coming back at you with another awesome episode each and every week. We are back with a very special guest in the studio with us. We actually have two guests in the studio with us. But before I get into them, I just want to thank all of our listeners for downloading, for subscribing to the podcast. We appreciate each and every one of you. Make sure to go download Grapplers Talk on Spotify, on Apple Podcasts, anywhere where you listen. We're on YouTube. Check us out. Go follow us on Instagram and Facebook as well. But other than that, man, we thank you all for joining us each and every week. We have an awesome competitor in the studio with us. I really like this guy. He's out in the comp scene. He's got multiple talents too, but I'm excited to get to know him a little bit more. None other than Mike Gianelli, man. What is up, brother?
What's up, man? Appreciate you having me out, man.
And we are also joined by his coach, a Charles Gracie black belt in jiu-jitsu, Brian Nelson, man. What is up, brother?
What's up, man? Good to be here.
Yeah, thank you guys for making the trek out here to the hood in Stockton.
I appreciate it. Sorry we were a little bit later again, man.
No, it's all good, man.
Yeah.
I hope you guys got like guns or something. You know, you guys are in Stockton, so
Yeah, I got Brian.
yeah.
Yeah.
But thank you guys for being on again, man. We appreciate your time and just wanted to kind of get you on. First of all, man, it's awesome to have you. I want to get into your story of jiu-jitsu, how you got introduced into it, what made you decide to go that route, and kind of get the dirty details out.
Yeah, my whole family, well, not my whole family, but my cousin, how I grew up was just a bunch of boxing heads. We Italian, they love boxing. My cousin won the Golden Gloves, and everybody was kind of doing that thing, but my brother's friends, they were all training at House in San Francisco. And that kind of, as a kid, I kind of got interested, and I was like, what's this jiu-jitsu stuff? And never really signed up until later on in life, because I was kind of busy touring, doing the band stuff, playing shows. And then eventually I just got the courage, and you know, I stressed out about a lot of things, and I was nervous, just probably like anybody else, hopped in there. And really kind of went down the rabbit hole of jiu-jitsu. It was right after the time my dad passed away. So it was kind of a tribute of anything towards him, you know, be strong for somebody that, you know, that can't. He passed away with Alzheimer's. And it was kind of hard watching him go through that. Super smart guy too. It was crazy. And watching him kind of go through that, I was like, you know, this is in a way, a dedication to him, you know. I'm gonna try to do something in his spirit, and you know, that's
awesome, man. You could have went either route in that situation. You know, you could have taken a bad route, or you could have found jiu-jitsu, which
I did, and I'm glad I walked through the doors that I walked through, and I've been super happy ever since I started training, and I'm glad I competed as well. You know, I was having this conversation with somebody else. My son, he has soccer practice and he has games. I tell him, go to your games. Well, that's for me. I try to treat that. Well, we have practice and then we have tournaments. So I think it's super, super healthy that I went that route as well.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's important, man. And, you know, like getting into jiu-jitsu, talk to me about the very first time you walked into a gym.
Super nervous. I can remember the smell. I got paired up with a black belt, didn't know what I was doing. I will say, and I always say this, the first guy that came up to me that made me feel comfortable was a guy named Moises. He was a brown belt at the time. Came up, super great attitude. I was like, man, this guy's cool. I'm just going to try to follow this guy, and met a bunch of great people, but it was hard. It was hard. Yeah. My brother put me in a triangle in the living room, and he says, this is how it's going to be for the next 6 months to a year. And
older brother
who did full on martial arts and like, yeah. But he said, yeah, and just, you know, this is how it's going to be. And so I was like, okay, cool. I'm going to suck for a very long time. And that was hard too, just for anybody.
Right. It's a humbling thing.
I had a buddy who was super good. He was a white belt and he was super good. And he's like, who'd you tap out today? I'm like, nobody. I'm trying to fucking stay alive.
Trying to survive.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So when he moved, I was like, I didn't feel as pressured to keep up with his status. Right. And then I started to learn how to, you know, as a white belt defend, and I'm still learning, right? Yeah.
It's constant.
I don't have anything. Yeah. So.
It's a constant journey, man.
Yeah,
You're never done learning. I remember, dude, as a white belt, I went in for over a year
Yeah.
I was in high school, and my parents, I'd get home and they'd be like, "Did you get anybody tonight?"
Oh wow.
And I was like, "No."
Yeah, that's what it was for
Not
me,
yet.
dude.
And
Yeah.
I was so embarrassed. I'd go shower and then go
Yeah.
hang out with the boys. But
Yeah.
it was every night for a year, man.
Yeah.
I'd go home and
Yep.
they'd look at me in the eyes. My dad, "Hey, did you get anybody tonight?"
Yeah.
And I was like, "No."
I'm gonna go cry in the shower.
No,
Yeah.
yeah.
No, it was.
And as a kid, you don't want to go back,
No.
but I was dumb enough to do it. But, I definitely understand that first time experience,
Yeah.
man. And sounds like, did you have a buddy system with your brother being in there? Or how
No,
was
no,
that?
my brother just gave me some advice. He lives in San Jose, so
Okay.
he just gave me some advice. Just embrace the suck, and this
Yeah.
is how it's gonna be. He's like, I don't know what else to tell you, but just try to get through it. I didn't know how to float forward roll. I didn't know how to. I'm like, I would loved lifting weights, and
Right.
being active, but never did the jiu-jitsu stuff. So when I got in there, I was kind of ready to get my ass kicked in a way.
For sure.
But and everybody's so great there. They were cool too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Was there a moment where you didn't want to go back?
No.
No.
No,
You just
no,
were hooked.
No,
right away?
and I think I thought about that today because it's just like when I really like something, I see it's a potential in something. It's very hard for me to stop because I don't want to think like, what could it have been?
Right,
What could have,
right.
like where we were talking about earlier is recording music. Yeah, I'm gonna suck at recording, but man, what could it be if I actually maybe
if
got
I
good
hit the right shit
and stopped depending on other people?
Yeah.
because they want money, and
Right.
I'm keeping my own shit.
Yeah.
Like,
You want to own the rights to your own shit.
yeah, and not pay other people.
Yeah.
And why don't I just put the time in and learn how to, do certain things like that?
Absolutely,
Yeah.
man. That's a brilliant mind too, and a great approach to take to martial arts or almost anything you do.
Yeah.
And you said you're a father, right?
Yeah.
So being a father,
Mm-hmm.
putting that kind of like help to your kids,
Yeah.
that's important, man.
I try to teach my daughter. She doesn't always want to go to jiu-jitsu. She's 9, but I tell her every time she gets out of class, she's always happy.
Yeah.
It's just trying to get her there. It's trying to okay, sleep, maybe nap, food, whatever.
Yeah.
But at one thing I said, you don't have to compete, you don't have to do, but I need a sense of urgency.
Yeah.
I can't just have you just lottie-dottie around. I need a sense of urgency. So there is that too, right? And that's kind of what my dad taught me. He was old school and he would, sense of urgency.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, and we got Brian in the studio with us too, and I kind of want to ask you the similar type of question, man. What got you into jiu-jitsu? When did you start? You've been at it for a long time. We were talking before the show.
This is old school stuff. Yeah. So I think it was 95 or 96. Hoist Gracie was on a talk show, and he was in the UFC at that point, and my friend caught that. And so we watched that, and we said, man, what's this UFC thing about? So we watched UFC 7 live. That was the first one we watched live, and then we went back and watched the first 6, and said, man, we got to find out where we can do jiu-jitsu.
Yeah.
So we found a spot in San Francisco, and we would go every Saturday morning and train for 2-3 hours. And Hoist came up a few times, did some seminars there. But then that's when I moved to the Bay, or moved to Sacramento, and then went to college up there, and I trained with Mario. Mm-hmm. He runs Brothers up there.
Okay.
I was there for a couple of years, and then moved back to the Bay. And then I was at House for a couple of years, training with Batata and a couple other guys up there.
Yeah.
And then moved to Tracy.
Yeah.
And I went in and tried out the trial class. When I first opened, I saw in the newspaper back in the Tracy Press, it would come out. I said, oh, Charles opened a school here.
Yeah.
I got to go do the trial class.
Yeah.
So I go to trial class in like 06, 07. And went great. I told him, hey, I'd gotten a blue belt in the past from another place. And so I wasn't brand new, but I hadn't been in there in a while.
Right.
But did the trial class, went great, didn't sign up.
Yeah.
I was like, man, I didn't have a lot of money. I had a lot of excuses, whatever the case.
Right.
So flash forward a few years, I think it was 2014, 15, I got back in there. Humbled at that time to go against people, knowing that if I hadn't stopped, where I would have been.
Right.
But that was like my mission. Mike's has a mission too, right? So I was going to get to black belt. I don't know. I didn't care how long it took or how old I was. I was going to just stay dedicated and stay disciplined.
Right.
And I think that provides a sense of discipline for my children. They see, hey, dad's in there working hard.
Yeah.
He's not out being a jack. He's getting after it. So
Well, and the power of consistency, man, that both of you guys have just talked about the importance of that. Like, you didn't let it go away from your life. No matter what, it sounds like you were still dabbling, trying to find the place, right?
Yeah.
Like, and that's the important thing that some grapplers do. They forget and they get lost, you know? So
COVID was hard for me because
absolutely for everybody.
Yeah.
For everybody. But we trained in the garage. We had to.
Yeah.
I did.
Yeah.
Sorry. Like we
did.
And I'm sure maybe not on this podcast, but people will hear that. And, oh, it's not being on. It's just, we had to do it, dude.
We
did
it. A lot of people in the area did it.
Yeah.
Entry at your own risk. I don't know.
Yeah. That's kind of how it was. I mean, we kept the good cleanliness, but
Sure.
it was like,
Yep, absolutely.
but you gotta adapt, and you gotta continue to train. And it only took a week for me to start like losing my mind and like, hey, I gotta order some fucking mats.
In a way, it was kind of good.
Jogging only lasts so long, right?
Yeah, in a way, it was kind of good because I got around a brown belt. Shout out to Ben who helped me through COVID and dissected my game and like went over. We actually had more time to like do jiu-jitsu, and actually it was kind of nice.
Yeah,
because the world was shut down. And,
man, what a time that was, man. We actually, I don't know if I should say this on the podcast. Maybe I'll edit it out if it's not appropriate.
No,
but,
say it.
Everything was shut down, so actually the local Hells Angels opened up their clubhouse to us and let us train over there.
Oh wow,
that's sick.
That's cool.
And they got us some mats, and
really?
we were training some of the guys, and it was really cool. I actually got my brown belt at the clubhouse. So,
that's sick.
It's badass.
That's awesome.
During COVID, it was like November, December of COVID.
Wow.
And so it was a cool moment, but I don't know if I'm supposed to be telling people, but whatever. I thank you for that. It's a local club.
Some good memories right there.
That's cool.
Good stuff.
That's great.
So, but it's been a hell of a journey, man. And jiu-jitsu will teach you things in life that you never thought you needed before.
Yep.
You know,
absolutely,
100%, man. There's a lot of lessons. I think about that all the time. How many lessons I've learned in the amount of time I've been training. Yeah.
And the important thing too, there's something that you do is you compete a lot, and going out there and testing yourself in the live waters. You get out there and you do that, and you almost have to as a jiu-jitsu guy, right? You can't just be the toughest guy in the gym. And my buddy, not to cut you off, but my buddy Jordan and Brian, and he knows no matter what, if we win or lose, we always make it fun. We go to In and Out after. Yeah.
It's never. I hate losing, and it does suck. But I'd rather be doing it than not doing it.
Right.
And there's some people that I know that they'll train 7 days a week, but they just the competition. It's not. Yeah. They can't get over the nerves, or maybe they just they don't want to get hurt, but at the same time, don't do jiu-jitsu.
So many people won't even make that decision to compete.
Right.
Yeah.
So Mike does it more than the average, probably. But some people won't do it at all.
Yeah.
I don't do it a lot at every belt level. I did some competitions and I was okay at them and got some medals.
Of course.
I think it's important to test yourself at each belt.
Yeah.
If competing isn't your thing, don't do it every weekend. Don't do it every month, but still go out there and do it every once in a while.
I think so. It's good mentally. It's good for
you. Got to feel that
feeling
before you get on the mat, right?
Like it's important because if something goes down in the street, you're going to get that feeling.
Yeah,
right?
absolutely. Yeah.
And you're going to need to know how your body reacts to it. Your jiu-jitsu reacts to it, right? If your jiu-jitsu shuts down in that moment, what the fuck?
We were talking about this the other day. I love when people root against me.
Yeah.
I love being in a match where there's tons of people and they're screaming whatever they're screaming. It's so beautiful.
It
fires you up.
Yeah, I love it, dude.
See, I'm the opposite. I want them screaming my name.
I
need the little crowd boost.
Yeah, for sure.
I need to Hulk up.
But that's what's cool too, right? About competition,
everyone's different.
Everybody's different. Yeah.
Yeah. What's some of the things like in competition that competition has taught you? In the midst of it,
Yeah, I mean, I was. There's people that and I'm sure you've seen this too. You look at somebody and you're like, maybe I can beat that guy, or I can't beat that guy, and you'll surprise yourself. Maybe you beat that guy, or maybe he beat you.
Right.
But there's been times in matches where just because he has your back, just because he has this, just because he doesn't mean it doesn't mean it's over. There's always a way out. So what it's taught me is to try to be patient, be calm. We can figure this out, as long as it's not sunken in choke, obviously.
Right,
but I've been through some shit where I'm like, man, this is gonna be rough to get out, and you surprise yourself, because you worked hard for it, and you train all the time, so your body's gonna go, no, if we deal our cards right and be smart about this, we can get out and hopefully submit them.
The power of the mind is very important too. Like you got to have a strong mind in competition, in jiu-jitsu in general. You can't just give up.
No.
And if you do, you're just gonna get smashed and beat up the whole time in practice.
I agree. I agree.
That's not that fun.
So how do you train your mind?
It's still work in progress.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't get nerves. I get nerves maybe like the day of, but I don't get them maybe like the Monday of. I get them, they maybe start like Thursday or something when it gets closer.
Mm-hmm.
I stay active during the week. I keep my mind right. I'm around good people. I just keep active.
Yeah.
You know, that really helps. And then it is what it is. Win or lose, I'd rather, again, like I said, I'd rather be doing it than not doing it. And I try to tell some of my teammates or, you know, people that I roll with, it's just I try to encourage them.
Yeah.
Just because I do see potential in people,
Right.
but they might not see it within themselves.
Mm-hmm.
And so they're an adult. Nobody's going to, unless it's their wife, they're not going to tell them that.
Right.
They're not going to, you know, some people they need to just get out there.
Right.
I got you, man. We'll go to In and Out after.
Yeah.
But
Yeah, for sure.
you're doing jiu-jitsu, get out there.
Yeah. Challenge yourself.
Yeah, I think that's important.
It very much,
Because you're not
is.
getting hit in the face, so that's good.
Yeah, I mean,
You know.
in all honesty, you're just rolling. So
Yeah.
like you got to look at it at the end of the day. What's the worst that's going to happen? I'm going to get tapped.
You train anyways,
so
you can get
It's the
in
worst.
it. You're gonna
Unless you hold on. I mean, if you break it, I mean, cool.
Yeah,
that's
yeah.
your style.
That's your choice,
Yeah.
right?
I'm tapping into
Yeah.
that shit.
Yeah.
I got to work.
100%. That's couldn't agree more with that. Yeah.
I want to make it to practice the next day. So
Yeah, of course, and that's happened too, where I've had a tap, and like you said, you know, I had a tap.
yeah.
Good on him.
Right.
Yeah.
It happens, man. And there's no shame in that, you know.
No.
Everyone's
You got out there
like,
and did it. Yeah.
you look at the best of the, best,
of the best.
You know, they've all lost. Even Gordon Ryan has losses
What
on his
happens.
record.
The
so.
best of the best. I said hi to a girl. She's very popular online, but she's a black belt. I said hi to her, and she said hi, and she went out, and maybe in a minute she got armbarred. But I didn't look at her like, oh, you go to armbar. I was like, hey, man, she's a boss.
Yeah.
She got
Right.
out there and did it.
Right.
I'm still gonna support her. I'm not gonna look down on her. You know?
You can't like
Yeah.
even the people still trying to figure it out. Like I appreciate that they're going through an emotional journey,
Dude.
right? And they're trying to figure out their game. They're trying to figure out their place in it. They're trying to you know, maybe they're trying to confirm their rank. You know, they want to really feel like a brown belt or a purple belt.
Like
or,
you said, their place in it. That's
Right.
that's a big one, man. That's a very big one. Because how do I rank? You know, I just got. You know, I got my brown belt in November when I started competing. How do I deal with this?
How do I deal up with
What's
that?
what
you know?
kind of
What's the
looks am I gonna?
competition like?
Yeah, what kind of looks am I gonna get? And yeah,
Well, I can attest to Mike. You know, at each belt that he would get, he would have that concern in his head. You know, how am I going to do in the comps? Because he's always signing up. We're always going. I mean, we're still going. And it's like every time we go compete at the new level, the new belt, he'd do just fine.
Yeah.
So every belt he would get, I knew he was going to be just fine.
Yeah.
But
Oh,
in
yeah.
the mind, that you know, you're playing that mind trick on yourself.
yeah.
Brian's come with me a lot, like to a lot of world leagues. We've been to Vegas.
So
We've
many.
been down south. We've been to a lot. He's always, even if he didn't compete, he was just always down to ride.
Yeah.
That's why I brought him.
That's
He's-
badass.
yeah.
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
I used to ask him the day of the tournament, you know, or the competition, you know, how you feeling? And then at some point, he was tired of me asking him
Yeah.
that. I knew he's good.
Yeah.
His mind's right. And I'm just say, hey man, let's go to work,
Right.
right? Do what
Let's
you do.
handle it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's important, you know, as a buddy or as a coach or as a friend, you know, in the corner, you know, just kind of watch how your boy is, you know,
Oh,
just
yeah.
make sure they're cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, don't bug them all day. You know, don't give them the old warm up on the shoulders. You know, and,
Yeah.
you know, just
For
hey,
sure.
you know what's up. Hey,
Yeah.
it's my dog.
Yeah.
Back in the day, we were super young, man. All my buddies were fighting pro MMA fights, and we'd travel all around. And you know, it was fun for us because we were
Yeah.
staying in hotels with like
Yeah.
UFC legends like Ken Shamrock
Sick,
and
Yeah.
you know the fun shit. But you know, I learned like. I'd go, hey buddy, you got a game plan going into this one? He's like, nah, not really. I'm just gonna kind of do my thing, and I'm
Yeah.
like, yeah,
All right.
like
You,
all right.
you have a story. You went to Japan once, right?
Oh yeah.
Let's hear it.
So Hoist fought Sakuraba back. I think it was in 2000 at Grand Prix.
Yeah.
Pride Grand Prix. My buddy somehow he had a good job and he fronted all these flights for us in the hotels. So like we went to Tokyo
That's badass.
for like 3 or 4 nights, I think it was. But we got to go to that fight, and that was pretty amazing. And my friend he had connections with Hoist, and so the next thing I know, we're going down the hotel lobby, and we're going underneath, and we're getting on the bus. And we
Yeah.
get to ride the bus with Hoist and Horion and Halio and everybody
Nice.
to the Tokyo Dome, and we went underneath, and you know, get out and all these pictures being taken, and we went to the we didn't go to the locker room, we went to the dugout on the baseball field, right? But yeah, I got to witness that 7-round, 15-minute
Wow,
battle.
so sick.
Those guys,
Wow,
amazing!
man.
What a trip! Yeah,
I'm a huge Hoist Gracie fan. I don't care what anybody says,
Oh,
dude.
yeah.
I'm a Gracie I got started on the Gracie books and the Gracie in action and choke, and I got
so
introduced to it the right
Yep.
way, and even the modern stuff, it has its place, but traditional Gracie jiu-jitsu, to me is one of the purest forms of jiu-jitsu.
Yep.
I mean,
Yeah, of course.
it may be controversial nowadays,
But it works.
yeah, it's very effective.
For sure.
So Mike, talk to me about, you compete a lot in those jiu-jitsu world leagues and tournament style. Do you have a preference on those super fights or tournament style?
Oh, I love super fights. I love them. Super fights are good. There's a different vibe between, I almost feel more like myself at an Arte Suave or the super match, whereas world leagues, it's just got a different vibe. You're kind of, you're getting your reps in. Let's say you lose the first one, you got to get, like we're talking about mindset, you got to get your mind right for the second one because you're trying to place on the podium.
Right.
We're going in and out after, for sure.
Oh, either way.
Yeah.
So I want the burger to taste good when I won, right?
Yeah.
Like,
what's your order in and out?
just doubles. That's it.
Doubles.
Yeah, that's it.
Just
That's it.
regular
How many,
doubles.
Yeah.
How many? That's
Just
the
two,
question.
sometimes two, sometimes three. If I
Sometimes
fasted
three.
the whole day. If I
Okay.
didn't, because I don't really eat the day of.
Regular buns, regular cheese.
Yeah, no tomatoes. I
No
don't.
tomatoes?
I can't do tomatoes.
Okay.
Yeah.
This guy will burn those burgers off in half an hour. So.
Our buddy Jordan, he'll go. Ham.
Yeah, I go. I get a Flying Dutchman. You go Flying
Yeah.
Dutchman. You had that. So I get
Yeah.
a couple of those. Maybe a double.
So after
Yeah.
World League, catch us at In and Out. For
Yeah.
sure.
it's always a good time.
Yeah.
Yeah, man.
But I like them both. I like IBJJF. When we go to Worlds in Vegas, that Masters Worlds, that's pretty cool too. Everything has a different vibe. But I love Arte Suaves. I think that's such a good organization for local or even high level, like big names.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah,
We
it's
went
good.
to their event recently, and man, they invited us out, and it was awesome. Like
Yeah.
the whole thing, it's flowing way smoother.
Yeah.
The overall show is getting better and
I
better.
really like them, man.
They got a video screen now, which was pretty
Yeah.
cool.
And I told them, I said,
That's dope.
keep that going. 'Cause
Yeah.
that's really nice,
Hell
dude.
yeah, that is.
There's a lot of people. It's a little older people. There's younger people all coming to watch it.
Right.
It
So
is.
when they do see that screen, it might sound simple, but it does play a huge factor
cool.
in the
Yeah.
spectacle, I guess.
Yeah.
Like that, those crowds keep growing and growing.
Yeah.
That event keeps growing. It's nice.
I think they're
to
smart.
see, yeah.
They've been. I think that's a really good organization.
Yeah.
And shout out to them for
They're doing good
always
things.
Yeah, for
inviting
sure.
me.
And they're always doing like good things too.
Yeah.
It's a non-profit.
It's
They
good, man.
donate
Yeah.
towards good causes.
Yeah.
It's a good time.
Yeah, I really have a lot of respect for that,
Yeah.
and you can't really say too many bad things.
No,
about
I've always
them.
had a good experience.
Yep.
Man.
Yeah.
We've done
Yeah.
10 of them.
Yeah,
Some
Yeah.
almost 9. Yeah,
Yeah.
a lot.
that's
Yeah.
a good amount, man.
Yeah.
Yeah. So Brian, talk to me a little bit. You've trained all over Northern California. It sounds like.
Kind of feels that way. Yeah.
so-
my body feels that way too.
So talk to me. You said you spent a little bit of time at House and these other places. What are some of the things that you picked up, other than obviously a submission or a sweep or specific move set? But what are some of the things you picked up from each of the
I
places?
mean, each one was slightly different, and
Right.
just the attitude of each one, just to continue to work hard. I was in Sacramento. I'm fairly new to train. I trained at Bay for a couple of years in San Francisco, but when I went to train with Mario up there, I was going 2 nights a week, going to school, working, all that stuff. But Mario, man, he's a magician on the mat. So,
Right.
we would roll all the time, and if anything, I learned some patience because he would tell you what he's going to get you with, and then he gets you.
Yeah.
You're like, damn, I knew that was coming. I couldn't stop it,
Yeah.
So maybe that. And then at house school, was up there for a couple of years in Mountain View, and that was very intense.
Yeah.
This was
Different training style. At
Yeah,
House.
it's all different now, probably
Yeah.
everywhere, right? But 25 years ago, it was grind, man. You
Yeah.
work hard, and people, there's signs in the bathroom, don't throw up in the sink, make it in the
Yeah.
toilet. So people are
Yeah.
definitely going crazy there. But I mean, up there it was just that grit, just to work
Yeah.
hard and continue. But throughout all of them is discipline.
Yeah. Absolutely, man.
We like to watch Monday Night Football, but if we can go train, we'll go train, right? So just understand it's like a lifestyle at this point.
Yeah.
It has to be a lifestyle. I
Oh, it
agree with
has to
that.
be, yeah.
Because if it's not, then it gets wishy-washy.
Yeah.
Right.
And I think you have people that if they treat it kind of like I don't want to say hobby, but like if you treat it like something you're just going to do on the weekends, you're always going to get kind of.
No, for sure. Whatever I've told my kids and
Yeah.
myself and everybody I know, like in my employees, whatever you do to just be the best. Try to be
Yeah,
the best.
right,
Keep working
yeah.
hard. Just try to be better than the day before with
Yeah. I
everything.
I know people
right?
that are injured that try to make it every day, and people that are not injured and can train, but just
Yeah.
Maybe you see him once every,
It was crazy when I first got started into jiu-jitsu. I got introduced into it, and then I was going to do it for my senior project. Like the week before I went in, I dislocated my shoulder, had to have surgery. And believe it or not, I went in and watched for months and months and months and months.
Just observe and learn.
I mean, I took notes. I just
dope.
observed it. And man, when I got on those mats, I was so eager to try all those different things I picked up.
I like that though, because you're still in the
You never
building.
leave. Yeah,
you're in the building.
You got to still dress up for practice. And if your knees fucked up, you still got to walk around the mats and still be around it.
Well, I went to the doctors, and this is when I got promoted. I somehow broke my foot. I still don't know how I did it. I woke up with a broken foot, then went to a Bjj seminar, but the doctor Monday night was like, "Yeah, you have it's broken right here, whatever." And then the same night, went on the mats.
Yeah,
I couldn't run, but
you got to adapt it. But
exactly.
It's important. And I had another surgery in like 2013, and I remember like 6 months out, I got onto the mats just because I needed it. I needed the mental clarity,
stretch out a little bit.
And I was guard pass and things like that. But sometimes you just gotta really get in there and attempt it.
Yeah, I agree, man. I agree.
Leaving all together just isn't the way to go with it.
Yeah.
But what's your normal training regimen like? How many days a week you going? Are you going every day, all day, twice a week?
I'm not. I go weights and jiu-jitsu pretty much every day. Tuesdays I'll do jiu-jitsu and then cycle at night. Family goes down, and then I'll get with my buddy who also has a family. His kids go down, and we'll meet up and we'll do about 20 miles, maybe a little bit more depending on the wind. But and then like I said, Wednesday weights and jiu-jitsu. Thursday I'll do jiu-jitsu and then do it at my house the night of, or that same night. I train jiu-jitsu in the garage. And then Friday, just weights, and then I take my kids to jiu-jitsu. Saturday, jiu-jitsu, and then Sunday, I like to kayak. I like to cycle. Like to do just other stuff. I also play a lot of guitar. I write music. So a lot of jiu-jitsu and weights to answer your question.
I was going to get into your musical abilities, man. If you haven't seen Mike Gianelli's Instagram, dude, he is a fucking animal on the guitar, dude. And,
appreciate it, man.
And really, really good, man. And we caught each other in the early days of Grapplers Talk in line at an Arte Suave event.
He was just talking about
I was
that.
there. I was there. I remember that.
And we were talking, man, and I remember talking to you about your music. You play an 8-string guitar. Talk to me about your musical history, and I know you don't like to brag, but
I've been playing guitar since I was 8, but I'll give you the fast track. High school, tons of bands. Wasn't home for dinner. That was my thing. 20s got eventually serious, like super serious. Was in a band called Redfall San Jose. Did my thing with them, played a lot of shows, and then after that I found kind of did a band that was already together called Dissipate. We got signed. They didn't want to go on tour, which was totally fine. So I got together with another band just for a fill-in guitar player. And then we started going on tour, got married, had kids, then started doing my own thing like we were talking about, recording my own music, doing my own thing. And then I started getting endorsed by EMG pickups, Schecter guitars. Then they would have me come out to their studio, play for their channel. Then I would go to NAMM, play at the conventions, start writing my own music. And so slowly, gradually, it started to help me out, especially when the sponsorships came.
Right.
I had 2 sponsorships in 1 week just because I'm off of one video.
Yeah, that's awesome, man.
That's something that my buddy just filmed in my bedroom.
Let me ask you, so what do you think the translation is from jiu-jitsu and music together, like being a musically inclined person? Like, do you think there is something like tied in together?
Well, the teaching... So when I can tell a good teacher in jiu-jitsu is like a good guitar teacher. If I give you a guitar and I give you a scale and you don't get it the first time, that you kind of have to have a little bit of patience, because guitar is very hard, jiu-jitsu is very hard. So you have a really good teacher that has patience and understands that you're trying to get the move down. Maybe he's got to tweak a little things, but has patience for you. That's super good too. Now, as far as the guitar, so for me, I really love my butterflies. Sometimes my butterflies go in a single leg X, and then from single leg X, it kind of goes there. I try to treat it like scales. If I'm in the key of A, there's tons how many scales are in the key of A. Right. Like, it's going to make me tired thinking about it. So in that way, if I'm in single leg X, the key of A, or there's other scales that branch off from there.
I love that.
Yeah. I try to.
That, man.
It's hard, but I try to do it. I try to do it like that.
Dude, that's impressive, man.
Yeah.
Like, you really just blew me away, man.
Oh, I appreciate it.
I like that. Dude, I'm a musician myself. So
you can relate and understand what he's talking about.
I'm not a professional musician like Mike here. Like, I learned in church. I play like multiple different musical instruments, but I'm not like super great at any one of them. You know, I'm probably best at the guitar, but
guitar's hard though.
But But like I play by ear.
Yeah,
and, you know, I can't read music or anything like that.
Yeah, that's hard.
But man, that's an impressive.
I had
way
two
to think
guitar
about
teachers.
that.
One taught how I learn, and then the other guy was really good but really impatient. He was but when you wouldn't get the scale down, he would, you know, kind of so
remember that guy?
Yeah, he's but it's important to have and to follow good teachers, whatever that means. And that doesn't have to be in jiu-jitsu or guitar. It could be a trainer. It could be, who knows?
Yeah. I think somebody that has the ability to teach guitar could teach.
Because there's a lot of great
jiu-jitsu
guitar players
too,
I know.
Yeah.
Not great teachers.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
That's okay.
You know, and there's what boxers out there, right? They weren't the best boxer, but they're a great teacher at it.
100%.
You know? I mean, it does happen.
Yeah. And I think if you have a good relationship, you just stick with that person.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
I agree. Brian, talk to me a little bit about some of the things that Charles Gracie, helping Mike out for competitions that you help out with and getting him ready, getting him in the zone for.
Well, first and foremost, we make sure we get rolls in.
Yeah.
Mike's always like, hey, we got rolls going tonight. I'm going to compete. And just, it is pushing the pace a little bit.
Yeah.
I've rolled with him so many times. We get to the same positions a lot of times, and we know each other's game pretty well.
Yeah.
So the moves that used to work years ago no longer work, right? We keep trying them. But, you know, just understanding his game so that when I'm sitting in the chair, you know, I'm trying to be like an active and a productive coach, right?
Mm-hmm.
Not just, hey, choke him out. Like, that's not really that, you know, beneficial, right? So I'm, you know, coaching more, competing less, but I want to do good at that too, right? So challenge myself to, you know, hey, how can I give constructive instruction to somebody, you know, fighting on the mat right now?
Yeah, Brian, and again, Brian is, he's gone with me through a lot of losses, a lot of wins, but also we traveled a lot together. A bunch of times to Vegas, a bunch of times on the 5,
road trips,
driving down south. You know,
you got to have somebody in your corner like that.
Like, I just got my purple belt at one time, and then 2 weeks later we're down south at a tournament. You know, and we've done that a lot.
Yeah.
Like we just
go. It's fun, man.
You're road dog, right?
Yeah. Chipotle on the way.
Yeah.
What's your Chipotle order now? I gotta hear it.
I haven't been there in a long time. I can't even remember. I haven't been there in a long time.
Yeah, it's interesting. I like to find out what these guys get. You know, I think he's a Taco Bell 12-pack of tacos to the dome, dude. No sauce.
I eat. I'll fast.
Shout out to Lot.
Yeah, he's really good. I'll fast pretty much. I'll have a little some before training, nothing big, and then when I get home, sometimes it might be good spinach pasta. You know? I don't know, something to fill me up. Yeah, nothing too bad. I eat a lot of fruit. Yeah.
Do you
love fruit? Yeah.
Do you feel like you know, being an active jiu-jitsu competitor, like, is it hard to stay focused? Like, when you got real life things going on, you know, you got your work schedules, you got your life schedules, you got the soccer practices, and how are you able to maintain a consistent?
I think it's easy.
Base?
It's a great question. I think it's easy, not easy, but it's maybe a little easier for me just because it's fun. It's fun for me. I was talking to somebody like another person that trains, and if you go to the gym or if you go to jiu-jitsu or whatever, you have to have fun doing it, or else it's going to be really hard to, like you're saying, maybe the kids, this and that, and the sun's going down. You're just, I can't. Your mind's all so
cluttered.
It's kind of, for me, how do I make the days best as I can before jiu-jitsu? Because I'm going to go to jiu-jitsu no matter what. I've had some of the worst days ever still made to class. Yeah. And try to not show that on the mat, because people don't.
Right. They don't care.
I don't.
It's not their business.
It's not their business. I don't want to be a downer.
Right.
You know? So that is a real thing, though. Sometimes, life does get in the way.
Yeah, it does. And sometimes I've noticed, like, when I force myself into practice, like in the past, you know, and it's some of my best training sessions.
Dude, right?
So it's like, what if I skip that? I almost did.
Some of those nights you think that you'd be off and then you're on. You're like, man, I wasn't even going to come. I didn't feel good, but I'm so happy I did.
Sometimes some things need time, too. Maybe... pick your poison, but whatever the situation is, maybe it needs a couple hours just to, we'll get back to it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's sometimes like you look at construction, it's best to just walk away from something when you're that pissed off, you're about to break the drill, you're cussing up a storm, it's like, hey, walk away for a second, right? Reset the mind.
Yeah. I had to do that in a it's kind of a funny story, but it's also kind of crazy. Some guy just was at a school pickup line picking up my kid, and I guess I cut him off, and he got out of the car, and he's yelling. He's super out of shape. He looks like a Santa Claus.
Doesn't know what he's getting into.
But like you were saying, you take a breath. What am I gonna do?
Like, nothing good's coming out of it.
Nothing good's coming out of it.
Yeah, that happens, man. People just
they just flash.
They don't understand sometimes, and
they're suffering.
Yeah. I was, it was funny. I was at the pharmacy picking up stuff for my wife. We just had our baby.
Oh, congrats!
Baby was like 2 months old at the time, and so like I'm first time dad, all excited. And some dude got mad at me because I jumped in front of him at the pharmacy. I didn't see him get in line, I guess. I don't know, whatever.
Yeah.
But the whole time I'm like sitting there and I'm watching jiu-jitsu videos. And I'm just browsing, long line, 30, 40 minutes.
Yeah.
And I just hear him huffing and puffing.
Yeah.
And I'm like, dude, like I'm always aware of shit. And I'm just going. And then he starts like sizing me up, and I'm like, all right, this guy's gonna flash on me at any second. Doesn't know what he's getting into.
Ready.
I'm studying right now how to hurt him. And I actually know how to do it. This guy's gonna be in a world of hurt. And he got all mad, and then as we both get to the front at the same time, he gets his shit, and he's at the door like leaving, and he goes, "Hey, you," and I'm like. Who the fuck are you talking to?
Yeah.
I look over and he's like, yeah, you. And I was like, okay, what's up? And he's like, you cut me in line. I'm like, well, why didn't you say anything, man? We were there for 45 minutes. You should have said something. I would have let you go in front.
Yeah.
I didn't know you were having a bad day. Chill,
exactly.
dog.
Yeah.
But like had I bit the
it could have
bait,
easily escalated.
Yeah, it could have been bad.
Oh, yeah.
I think... Yeah, people need to move around and get that energy out, dude. I think when people don't move around and they're just sitting and they're suffering. And
they hate themselves.
They don't. That's nothing against you. It's just
Yeah,
it's
he's having a bad day.
Right.
I was going to say by day, I work in management. I've got employees and deal with all kinds of traffic. Sometimes 4 or 5 hours a day, right? So some nights I'm like, I get home, I'm there for 5 minutes long enough to grab my stuff, and I'm like, I could easily just hit the couch right now.
Yeah.
But it's that discipline. And I told myself I'm getting somewhere. I leave and then I go. I don't know how Brian. So yeah, but needing that training you're talking about as an outlet, right?
Right.
Yeah.
I can't choke my employees, although they might hear
sometimes
this.
You like to,
you know who I'm talking to.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Yeah, when you're definitely in a management role and stuff, if you're not training, you're a real asshole at work. I'll tell you that.
Yeah, no, it helps.
Doing jiu-jitsu is better for everybody else too. I'm a happier person for my kids,
for sure,
for my friends, for everybody.
Absolutely, man.
You're right. It parallels so many things in life, though.
Yeah.
For me, business and jiu-jitsu, there's a lot of parallels. And I talk to my employees and I tell them, how it parallels. And, all right.
Yeah.
It's funny. I was talking to someone the other day and we were talking about hiring people. And I was like, man, dude, I'm going to hire a jiu-jitsu guy.
Yeah.
If he's interviewing in front of me and he tells me, or if I see cauliflower ears, or if he tells me, hey, I train jiu-jitsu, I'm a blue belt, I'm a purple belt. You're hired, dog. You're getting the job.
Sure.
There's something about, jiu-jitsu people, they have a different mentality, and if they've stuck with it, then they're really fucking probably going to be a great employee.
Yeah, exactly.
I actually got an employee that works for me. He's from Brazil. And when I interviewed him, he told me that he grew up on the beaches in Brazil and he used to watch Hells and beat people up on the beach. I'm like, this is too coincidental.
Yeah.
But then, he actually fit what I needed him to do. And I ended up hiring him. But so now
that's awesome. I love that. But you're right, though, because they have to embrace the suck, dude. And if they got over that, they're probably gonna be a good employee.
Yeah.
I mean, there's bad apples everywhere, but
absolutely.
I get what
you
you're
know,
saying.
but for the most part,
Yeah.
you know,
Yeah.
I'm like, all right, you're a jiu-jitsu guy, you're hired.
Yeah.
I'll at least give you the chance, you know.
You can go to like a resume data bank and search by word and type jiu-jitsu. like some resumes will pop up.
People should put that on their resumes if they train jiu-jitsu.
It's on my
you know?
LinkedIn.
They should.
Yeah. It takes I mean 15, 20 years to get a black belt sometimes.
It's
you know?
there.
I've been training at 18, I still don't got a black belt.
Yeah.
You know, it's a while, man.
Yeah.
But you just gotta stay with it. You know, that's the important thing. You don't chase the like little things in there. You just gotta look at the long journey.
Mm-hmm.
I think as far as speaking of jiu-jitsu too, like I think it's good to train outside of jiu-jitsu. I think the gym is great for jiu-jitsu, keeping your body loose. I think cycling, whatever activity you can do outside of jiu-jitsu, I highly recommend. If nobody is whoever's listening, if you're not doing that, I highly suggest it because it keeps my body loose before class.
We were talking to Will Alexander a couple of weeks ago, and
Will,
he does CrossFit.
Shout out Will.
Yeah.
There you go.
Yeah.
You know, and I mean, you could see the strength level like when he's doing those things.
Yeah.
That guy is strong.
Will's a great guy. Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
but yeah, dude, you got to do something else, right?
Like Sunday class is there's no class. Get in the kayak, get a good workout. I'm next to the water. It's great.
Right.
You
You're
know,
working those shoulders, those grips.
Yeah, whatever it is. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, you really got to find the jiu-jitsu and everything. Right?
I tried to.
Oh, yeah.
You know, if you swing a hammer, dude, there's grips involved.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
So-
I tried.
So you always got to be looking for it. I'm in the HVAC trade, so we would pull furnaces up through the attic space.
Yeah.
And you got to get those grips real strong on that rope to, you know, pull that little fucking 200-pound furnace up there.
Oh, yeah.
100%.
So, you know, grip strength is everywhere. Jiu-jitsu is all around you.
Yeah.
You know?
It is, dude. It is.
Thankfully.
100%.
So,
100%.
But yeah, dude, I'm looking forward. Do you got anything exciting coming up on the competition scene?
On the competition scene, I got a couple tournaments coming up. Hopefully get on a tournament with Arte Suave, but just regular tournaments. Like I said, November 2nd. And then get some stuff in January. And then I got a new song coming out, Pulses.
Hell yeah.
Just under my name. You can search
When's
for
that
it.
dropping?
October 4th.
October 4th?
Yeah,
Hell yeah.
October 4th. So I'm super excited that that's all done by me. Like I said, we were talking about it before, just night and day trying to get the drums, you know, all that stuff.
Yeah, oh yeah. You can nerd out on that stuff.
Yeah, we're not going to.
Oh yeah,
So,
it'll drive you crazy.
Yeah, it will, unless you're not into music production. It would drive crazy. Yeah, so that's something that helps when I'm not doing jiu-jitsu.
Right.
Something else.
Right.
You know, staying active, and then the mind doing my music.
Right.
Yeah.
You're probably working a different part of your mind with it, but also touching on some of those same receptacles.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
Yeah, you seem like a very smart individual too, man.
I'm not the smartest, but I'm somewhat smart in what I like to do.
Yeah.
But there's a lot of things you know. Yeah.
Do you feel like sometimes
like my dad was good with woodwork and he could build whatever in like a month, and I can't do that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I feel like so you're really good at the guitar, right?
Yeah.
You're really good at jiu-jitsu. Like, is there things that can come up in life? Like, if you got into archery, would you just start nerding out on shooting bows and arrows or something else like that? Like,
I would say yes for Mike. Not necessarily bows and arrows, but whatever he puts his mind to, he gets dedicated.
Yeah.
And he puts in that work to get good.
I don't know
whatever it is.
I don't know what that other thing is after jiu-jitsu.
Right.
And there might not be another thing, because then you kind of, you know, guitar, family, and jiu-jitsu, sometimes just
it's hard.
That's all I want, or that's all I want. That's all I have the time for.
There's only so much time in the day, right?
Yeah, there's only so much time in the day. So maybe there's another thing out there, but right now I feel happy.
Yeah.
So
yeah. Sometimes jiu-jitsu is that thing that solves that. You know?
Yeah.
Some people search and they try to find certain things. And, You know, try to fill whatever it is.
There's a lot of people that we know that surf too. They love that.
Yeah.
You know, rock climb.
Right.
I'll do old-fashioned running.
Yeah.
You know why? Because it's hard.
It's hard.
That's tough.
Yeah.
Golf, that's another outlet.
Yeah.
You know why? Because it's hard. Golf is hard as shit.
Yeah.
So like my mind is constantly working, and there's parallels with jiu-jitsu and golf, believe it or not. Like, you know, so it's not that physical, but you know, it's mentally challenging.
Yeah.
I suck at golf, dude. I can't hit it off the
shit,
damn
man, I'm
tee,
telling you.
dude. Yeah.
I can't. So I admire
Frustration,
you.
right? Yeah.
Sometimes we'll go on a whim and just do go-kart racing some nights. That's a fun time.
That's fun.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's got to be outlets. Buddy of mine, he likes to hike, and he took us to hike Half Dome.
Sick.
Oh, cool.
We did it at nighttime. We got to like the bottom of the dome right at like sunrise and went
so
up to the
dope.
top.
That's
Dude, that shit is
sick.
scary, bro.
I've never done it. I've never done it.
Oh, dude, we're talking cardio, right? And
Yeah.
different things to do to stay in
Yeah.
shape.
Yeah.
Go hike Half Dome, dude.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
it will kick your ass. Like it's the
bet.
high elevation. You know, you gotta.
Yeah.
And I had never hiked anything really.
Oh,
like,
that's a big hike.
Yeah, that's a big hike.
Yeah.
I think I did it once when I was a kid with my dad.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I remember him losing his sunglasses.
Oh,
Go
yeah.
get some water in the
Oh,
sunglasses.
damn.
Yeah.
And one of my employees just climbed Half Dome, and it got to a point where you could sleep on the ledge up there.
Yeah.
That was like his mission for his birthday. He wanted to go sleep on that ledge.
There's a
at the-
surfboard ledge.
somewhere up there. Yeah, he showed me some pictures of it, and I was like,
Yeah.
that looks wild.
That's
Yeah.
my buddy who took us up there. He actually proposed to his wife
Yeah,
now
yeah.
Oh,
up
wow.
there.
Cool.
And he told her, "Hey, you got to make it to the top," and she made it, dude. Like, it is badass. Like,
Yeah.
I proposed.
He's
in
all, I
Haw-
got a plan up here.
I proposed in Hawaii, the Road to Hana.
That's- Road to Hana's beautiful,
so
dude.
I was like, yeah, this is
Boy.
probably the
Yeah.
spot. I was so nervous.
I took a helicopter through Road to Hana.
Oh,
and
wow.
Like after driving it, we drove it the day
Yeah.
before, and oh my god, it was just so beautiful.
Yeah.
And then like I took the helicopter like both ways.
Yeah.
So sick.
I
Like,
took a road in Maui that I shouldn't have took. I said not to take, and I took it anyways. And I was glad that nobody was driving towards me because I couldn't have backed up.
Yeah.
It was so.
Yeah, it's
That
tough,
narrow
dude.
and wide.
Oh, my God.
Oh, and it's windy,
Yeah.
bro. Oh,
I've been.
man.
Came up to this mountain. It was beautiful, but lesson learned. Yeah.
Yeah, there's some pretty cool waterfalls on that road to Hana.
Man, we
Yeah.
we have a timeshare in Kauai, my wife and I and the kids. And,
That's cool.
When we go there, I'll train at Longman Jiu-Jitsu.
Okay.
They're really good group of guys. But Kauai is really nice, smaller, but yeah.
Yeah. I just talked to Nate. He trains over at Andre de Frias's academy, and he goes to Hawaii too. He said
cool.
on a regular basis.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of good jiu-jitsu out in Hawaii nowadays,
Oh,
right?
Yeah.
for sure. There's
Yeah.
Like Hawaii is a fighting island, you know.
Yeah.
That's-
It's also too. I like the humidity. It's like I used to go to Italy a lot, and it has that humidity kind of vibe. And I love Hawaii. I
Yeah.
love it. Yeah.
Yeah. So we have a game we like to play on this show. Okay. And I did this earlier. Okay. I was just having fun, and I was like, I'm gonna ask AI. Okay. And we like to play overrated or underappreciated. We list off grapplers, MMA guys, whatever your thing is.
Okay.
And we try to see what your rating is. You can explain if you want, or you don't have to.
Okay.
But earlier I asked ChatGPT, and it spit out a shitload of names, and I was like,
Yeah.
"Oh my god,
That thing's amazing.
yeah, it's crazy,
That thing's
dude!"
crazy.
Like, and it was just like
Yeah.
spitting it out, and so I thought it was very interesting.
Yeah, it's nuts.
But if you're down, we could
Yeah.
get started with it.
For sure.
All right, overrated, underappreciated. We're gonna start out with Nicholas Marigali.
I'm gonna go.
I'll say underappreciated.
Yeah, I'll go with that one.
Marigali.
Yeah.
Okay.
I don't.
Instead of
I don't-
overrated, I don't think he's overrated. I mean, the guy wins. Like,
Yeah.
He wins. He wins.
Yeah.
He had a bad ADCC. That was a
Yeah.
bad day.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
know?
What he's done in the gi is pretty good.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. Okay, I like it.
that was, yeah, it's tough.
Man. Okay, you guys are teaming up. JT Torres.
Oh, I'm gonna say I'm for sure. I love JT. I'm gonna say underappreciated.
Yeah.
That's just me.
Yeah, I feel like he is underappreciated in the jiu-jitsu scene.
Yeah.
He's
Yeah.
been around forever, dude.
He had a podcast with Chewy, and I was still one of the best I've
Yeah.
listened to. He seems like such a good dude.
Yeah. Now this one I think is kind of interesting because Cade Rotolo's winning everything. He's winning ADCC, right? He just won the $1 million in CJI.
Pay up, yeah.
But Ty Rotolo hasn't been doing as hot in those
Yeah.
things. He lost in ADCC. He had a good absolute performance the last
Yeah.
ADCC, but got injured in CJI. It looked like he had
did,
some
yep.
sort of ankle injury.
Yeah.
What's your thoughts on Ty Rotolo? Overrated
Go
or
for it.
underappreciated?
I did the last one. Go for it.
It's hard to say these guys are overrated with what the work they're putting in and getting out and doing. It's again, they're not winning every time, but so it's hard to say. I mean, that guy's overrated. Like, who am I, right?
Yeah,
Like, it's hard for me to judge
Right.
that guy, but I would say underappreciated again. Like,
Yeah.
it's just
Yeah.
tough. I want to lean that way on some of these guys. They put
Yeah.
in work, man.
I agree.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, who am I? I mean, these guys are. That's why they're killing it.
Yeah.
Let's go with a girl, Gabby Garcia.
I'm gonna respectfully go overrated. respectfully.
Yeah.
Great person, better, super nice. Just that's.
I just say underappreciated for all the antics and all the Craig Jones stuff. I mean, that's
she
too
was
good.
pretty good with that. She played the game with it. She promoted it very
hell
well.
Yeah, it was dope.
If there was another option, I would go with the other option. But love you guys.
She got some world titles too. She's pretty accomplished, I guess.
Let's take a look. This one, I hate to say this one. Why did AI give me this? It's Leandro Lowe. I just think he's underappreciated.
Yeah.
Oh, absolutely.
We never got to fully see, the full Leandro Lowe.
That story's
big fan. Yeah, big fan.
Yeah. I thought
Super
he was
sad.
amazing.
Yeah.
But let's go to Gary Tunnen.
I would go underappreciated.
Yeah.
Yep.
Any reason behind that?
I think what he's done is
He had a rough ADCC this year.
Yeah.
Right? He kind of seemed like he was just a little bit behind the game.
Yeah, I think the match with him and Crone was amazing.
Oh, yeah.
I'm looking back then. I mean, he's not as in the spotlight as he is today, maybe.
He's not.
That's why I'm saying it. And I think I wish he was. I mean, yeah, that's what I
don't know how old he is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's getting older, but
Yeah.
he's still pretty young. He's probably like 35.
No,
I would say
33.
underappreciated, yeah. For sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think so.
Yeah.
It's contributed a lot to the game.
Yeah. Him and Eddie Cummins.
Yeah. Oh, dude.
Yeah.
Gary Tonin, man, he was a scrapper.
Legend.
You know, like
even in
was-
MMA too, man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like he gets out there and he does it, man.
Yeah.
What's your thoughts on Mikey Musumeci? Okay, his whole thing with the Cade Rotolo match. They were supposed to fight. Cade drops out due to injury, which I still don't know what the injury was. I don't think they're gonna tell us. But
Yeah.
Then Mikey takes another match. He misses the weight cut, misses hydration, and then he gets hospitalized for air in his chest or something along those lines, claiming he was doing the breathing techniques of Hicks and Gracie.
Interesting.
I mean, I love Mikey. If all that's true, that's really sad, and hopefully he gets better. The only thing that kind of looked a little weird was when you're talking smack about Gordon Ryan, whoever, whatever you want to do, and then you're missing. Then
similar
that
situation, man.
Yeah, that kind of follows. He was at a World League. It's funny.
That's right. Yeah, I remember that. That was south,
Yeah.
down south or Vegas.
And then I love Mikey.
Yeah.
I think I love all these guys. That's the thing is, like, I don't have any favorite. I mean, I do have a little bit of favorites, especially guys in the gi because I train a lot in the gi. But all these guys, man, I mean, they're
savages, right?
They're such good for the sport, and it's so easy to be a hater, which I'm not.
Yeah.
It's so easy to hate on all these dudes, and it's like, what the fuck are you doing?
Yeah.
What are you doing, dude?
I guess I don't know, man. I just blaming the breathing techniques of Hicks and Gracie. I don't know if like he's
I don't know anything
to make that assessment.
This is the first time I've heard about it. I have no idea.
Yeah,
I heard he missed weight, and I heard he got really sick.
Yeah,
but I didn't hear about the breathing techniques.
Yeah, I
was
don't know.
he doing them right?
That's what I'm saying.
Maybe
I mean, those
not.
techniques
Yeah.
are probably pretty hard to master, and you see Crone doing them, and you see Hickson doing them. They seem to be fine. You know?
Yeah.
So
Mikey, he's a freak though. I mean, I don't know.
I mean, maybe being that sucked up in weight and then trying that,
Maybe
like,
that didn't help.
he like uninflated his chest.
Maybe his diet caught up with him too. Maybe
that is a strange diet. You're Italian. How do you feel about it?
But the thing is, his work. I guess if his work ethic, if you're doing cardio and you're training all day and you get your carbs in, and that gives you energy.
Yeah,
works for him, I guess.
I don't shy away from carbs. I buy good pasta though.
Yeah,
some of that other pasta will make you feel like death.
Yeah,
that real cheap kind. I try to get like a good spinach pasta that cooks in 4 minutes.
Yeah.
And I do pesto because red sauce is for the birds.
I like green or
birds.
I could deal with like a buttery, creamy Alfredo type sauce too.
Pick your poison.
But
I could eat pizza every day like Mikey. I wouldn't be as shredded as that guy. But that's a good diet.
I think the match that he did with that he was almost like a wrestler guy, a white dude. That was almost looked like a tough match for Mikey. That was a great match.
Yeah.
But hopefully it gets better. The breathing technique, man, I don't know. That's
it's strange, right?
It is very strange.
Yeah. What's your thoughts? This not have to be overrated, underappreciated, but the match coming up with Nicky Rod and Michael Pixley.
I just think it's very hard to beat. Nicky Rod.
Yeah.
I think it's very hard. I think Michael Pixley
Should be a wrestling match, right?
Michael Pixley's super nice guy. We met him when we went to Worlds, and I think what he did with Marigali was very impressive. I just think Nicky Rod's really good. I think Pixley is, but if I'm Vegas, I'm putting my money on.
Yeah.
Nicky Rod's on another planet right now.
Yeah, he's so good.
I think the fight to make happen though, and I think he did it the best. Put up your money and let's do the Gordon and Nicky.
Right.
Yeah.
We'll
That's
see.
what everybody wants to see.
I don't know, man. There's a lot of shots fired in that one. It's kind of died down a little bit, but we'll see what happens.
I thought that was a good idea how he called him out.
Yeah.
I was like, I think you should make that fight.
Yeah, well,
match. Excuse me.
If I were to say, I don't think it happens. I think it's like the Floyd Mayweather Pacquiao fight. If we do see it, it's going to be a couple years from now
For sure.
So
Pixley's good. That's going to be a good match though.
Yeah, I think Pixley can propose enough of a threat to make it a good match, but I don't see him pulling it off against.
Never try to
Nicky
count anybody
Rod,
out,
man.
but yeah.
Yeah, it's Nicky Rod's just so good right now.
Mika Galval. He's
Yeah.
an exciting guy to watch. I mean, if he's just too good. I watch him. Me and the kids watch him and just videos of Mika Galval.
What's your thought? He tested positive a while back for a performance enhancing.
Yeah.
Do you still like?
I still fuck with him.
Yeah, all those guys.
Yeah. I still. All right.
In IBJJF, so
Yeah.
he got like suspended, I think, for a little bit. He still competed in different organizations, and he did a lot of no-gi stuff. But he did
That's
test positive
unfortunate.
for something. Yeah,
It's unfortunate.
You know, these young guys like Mika, I wish that they didn't do stuff like
Sure.
that. You know,
I agree.
He's so young. He's got the rest of his life ahead of him. You know.
Also, too, man, like, what's that doing to your body?
Right. It can't be good. He's young.
Yeah, so much potential without it.
Yeah.
Right? Why entertain it? But
Yeah.
Yeah, you know, TJ Dillashaw, UFC fighter, I thought he did not need EPO in any sort of way. Maybe to make the weight.
Some of the most exciting fights, I was with a buddy who didn't even care about UFC, didn't care about anything. We had some Thai food or whatever, and we put the phone on when he was fighting TJ Dillashaw, Cody Garbrandt.
Oh, yeah.
Great fights.
Classics.
Dude, great
Classics.
fights. High pace, great fights. And, man, I wish TJ still fought.
Yeah.
Yeah, my old boss wrestled his dad. I used to live in Sonora.
Okay.
He's from, I think, Angels Camp,
Yeah.
yeah, that pace is insane.
He's,
I mean,
man.
it's like
I've been a fan of him since Ultimate Fighter.
Yeah, man.
I love TJ Dillashaw, regardless of the EPO. Like, dude, that he looked like he was near death when he cut that weight, dude.
Yeah.
Like,
I'm excited for Michael Chandler. And,
and Oliveira. Yeah, that should be a good fight.
Chandler's a dog.
Man, Chandler, he's tough.
Yeah.
He's
kind
like
of sucks
that.
he had to wait around so long.
he's been waiting forever.
Yeah.
You know, I think
Almost
it's smart. I'm glad he's taking a fight. He could be waiting 2 more years for that Conor fight.
True. Yeah, absolutely.
So
That may or may
that's too
not
long.
even
That's
actually
his
happen.
career, you know, right there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So where he's at, you know, late to the UFC game, he
I'd
had
like
a
to
whole
see-
career in
I'd like
Bellator.
I'd like to
did,
see John Jones and Aspinall.
You think that fight will ever happen?
No.
No.
I just
think he beats-
recently
I
heard John said he's going to retire after Stipe.
I think that's probably what happened. Yeah.
Sure. We'll see.
Yeah.
Right?
That's probably what
yeah,
happened.
I don't know, man.
Yeah.
And then a lot of people want Pereira and John Jones too, and they were hanging out at the Sphere spot.
Let's go.
Fight or
dude.
whatever, you know?
Show me that
Yeah.
fight now.
That would
Yeah,
be a good
bad.
fight.
That would be a
I
good
would
one.
love that one.
Yeah.
Mhm.
John's still like, I feel like he could still make 205. Like he's got size, but not
knows how to
that
get down.
incredible.
It was
size.
crazy because last time he fought, it was so quick, you know. So, I'm stoked for him to come
I still feel like we haven't seen him at heavyweight.
back. Right, exactly.
No.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was just way too quick for that
Yeah.
one.
Stipe, that would be a good fight. I just think John Jones is
It's too much.
he's
for
too
him.
much.
Yeah, dude. One of the best. Like, so okay, I've been liking this. I've been seeing this all over the internet recently. But like, if you had a Mount Rushmore for UFC fighters, who would be on there?
Do you want to go
Your
first?
top four.
Four,
Yeah,
yeah.
let's go. I mean, off the top of my head, I would go Hoist. Obviously, I put on that Mount Rushmore. I like BJ Penn on there, GSP, and Anderson Silva.
Oh, that's a good one.
For me, Habib. Definitely go.
Damn, I
with,
forgot.
No, I mean it's kind of there's a lot, right? Habib, Nate
Yeah.
Diaz. Habib, Nate Diaz. Definitely, I'm gonna go with Connor. I like Connor,
Yep.
and I'm definitely gonna go with Hoist. Yeah.
That's an interesting one.
Yeah, I'm trying to get one from all
all generations.
Kinda,
yeah.
But guys that I liked watching.
Yeah.
I like Connor. I love. I've been to Ireland. I like
Right.
the whole. And then Nate Diaz, Stockton.
Dude, and Nate
Nick
really...
and Nate, they come as a package. Yeah.
Nate got the fight that everyone wanted.
100%.
Like, he called it out. He took it at the right time on a short notice, knew that that's my opportunity, and he made the most of it.
The first and second fight, doesn't matter, man. Those are great fights. Yeah, especially the second one, too.
You watch that second one over, man.
Yeah.
And the first time I watched it, I felt like, hey, I don't know what these judges are seeing, but this can definitely be a Nate Diaz fight, or it can be a Connor fight.
But you got to have, no matter what, you got to have Hoist in there.
Yeah.
He went in there with a gi.
Oh, yeah. And what Hoist did in those first early days where everyone didn't know what the fuck they were getting into.
Yeah.
Like that factor alone to go in there at under 200 pounds and kick everyone's ass.
Yeah.
Set that bar for excellence, right?
Yeah.
Oh,
exactly,
yeah, dude.
man.
I'm a huge Hoist Gracie fan, man. I got to go to a seminar of his.
Oh, which one was that?
At Crosley Gracie's Academy.
I don't know if it was, because they've done a couple.
Yeah, they done a few.
Probably the first one they did. It was a couple years ago.
I loved it, man.
It was cool.
It was awesome to get it. And Hoist demonstrated a couple moves on me, so that was real cool.
Yeah, that's cool.
He did like a self-defense sequence.
Yeah,
I remember
he starts out with like a self-defense sequence, and then he got into some ground stuff.
Yeah,
and,
we were at that one. That was a good one.
It was so good, man.
Mm-hmm.
And I can't say enough. I gotta go at a Hoyler Gracie one too, and Hoyler is another animal, man.
Yeah.
Like you talk about competition, dude. That dude's
done it all, right?
He's done it all, man.
The Bouchesha one we went to in Brent was really
that was
good.
legit too.
Yeah, he was cool, man. He sat and talked with us. We saw him outside just on his phone. I mean, you have a world champ right there. It's just sitting on his phone, like, hey, man, nice to meet you.
Right.
Glad to be here. Glad to see you.
That was cool. Like the last half hour, he's like, hey, circle up. Let's just
He's like
question
asking
and answers.
me,
Let's go.
anything.
Talk it up. What do you got
Yeah.
for me? So everybody's asking him cool stuff.
He's big dude, man. Big dude.
Yeah.
When he demonstrated on me, I was like, that's
Like, he's much bigger than I am too.
You can see what they're talking about.
Yeah.
Pressure.
Yeah, and we'll take the seminars when we go to the Master Worlds thing. I try to do a good job.
Jiu-jitsu content.
Yeah,
Those
I
are
try
tight. Yeah, that's
try
cool.
to do a good job of getting them all in after I compete.
Yeah.
The Pedigo guys.
Right.
Yeah, that was tight. That was good.
My goal is to get our podcast out there one day. So
You should.
that's what we're striving towards.
Yeah.
One day you will hear it. I wanted to say it on here, so I'm held accountable. So.
Yeah, you should, man. That'd be great.
But once again, you guys have been awesome, and
Appreciate it,
thank you guys for being on the show.
Appreciate
and
it.
we're just gonna give you a few minutes, Mike, if you want to shout anybody out or anything, the floor's yours.
Brian Nelson. Well, first of all, shout out my wife for watching the kids while I train, because that is a big one. Jordan Sayers, Brian Nelson, Igor, Hudi, Charles, AJ Sams, AJ Dioxin, all you guys, all my good teammates, and Grapplers Talk, Arte Suave, World League, all that. Everybody that's supported us from the start.
Yeah, what's up? I'm gonna echo all that. All those people. Yeah, I mean, those people are legit, and we train day in, day out. They teach us stuff, regardless of belt, right? So everybody's helping each other out. So I shout out all those guys we train with at all those schools.
Yeah.
Hell yeah, man. And thank you guys for being on the show. We really appreciate you guys. And make sure you guys are out there. Go to Spotify, click the subscribe button. Subscribe to all of our previous episodes of Grapplers Talk. We have a ton of episodes out now with some really awesome guests. Go check it out. Also, follow us on Instagram, follow us on Facebook, all that fun jazz. Once again, this is Dave, and we are out.
This is Grapplers Talk.